After a well-deserved summer at home patrolling the Hauraki Gulf for kingfish, Ryan Fox has set sail for London, where he'll base himself for his rookie season on the European Tour. The Auckland professional earned his time away from the golf course, having completed a breakthrough 2016 year. The 29-year-old donned the silver fern at the Olympics and World Cup of Golf, won the Northern Ireland Open, and by the end of it all had finally captured a much sought-after European Tour card. But Fox's 2016 didn't start anywhere near as well as it ended. The big hitter was angry and in a slump, having missed his European Tour membership by a matter of a few €1,000 at the Challenge Tour Grand Final.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I was 7th on the Order of Merit and definitely held my tour card for 2016 in my hands. And I played okay in China and finished 40th, but it dropped to 11th going into Oman. And the first 2 rounds I played okay, put myself in position, and I got blown off the golf course a bit in the 3rd round, shot 81, which I think at that point was my worst round as a pro, and was a bit dejected really, and went out the next day and shot 66, but I happened to miss out by €2,000. It hurt for a while and it took a while to get over it. I think I went into the beginning of last season just pissed off at golf and wasn't playing very well, and that's not a good way to be, and I probably took that, into June almost.
When Ryan hasn't been out on his jet ski this summer, he's been on the range, pounding balls and tinkering with his golf game with coach Marcus Wheelhouse.
It's a good swing, buddy. That was nice. There's the room that I want to see, mate.
Marcus understands the enormity of what his pupil has achieved to get on the European Tour.
A lot of people don't realise how tough it is, I think, in the game, and there's thousands of professional golfers out there. Every year there's 150 odd that have got some sort of card in America and about the same in Europe. So it's pretty impressive, to get to that stage and have the chance to go out there and play the best of the world, because that's what it is now. And, it's harder now than it was back when I played, 10, 15 years ago. So it's a hell of an achievement. And the world's his oyster at the moment, and we're just got to sit back and buckle in, really.
For the remainder of the year, Ryan and his girlfriend will base themselves in Britain, where, like so many young Kiwis before them, they'll try to make sense of London life.
Yeah, it was a pretty easy decision for last year to go to the UK, and took a bit to get used to. London's a very big place, and took a while to find a golf club to play and practice at, and all the airports are new, all the travel routes are new, all of that. And after a couple of months, we really enjoyed it, and actually looking forward to going back. And we know it's going to be a lot easier second time around than it was, trying to figure everything out on a whim last year. The golf course I'm a member at is Fox Hills, ironically, and it's in Surrey, just outside the M25, fairly close to Heathrow. So, I guess Heathrow and Fox Hills are the 2 things I want to be closest to. Be able to do some practice and have a base for the weeks off. I think that's really important. I don't know what it is, but when you have a week off but you're still travelling out of a suitcase, it just doesn't feel like a week off when you can, do nothing, sit on a couch and watch TV. I guess that was probably a little part of the success of last year, feeling much fresher at the back end of the season than I did in 2015.
Ryan is following in the footsteps of Michael Campbell and Mark Brown, New Zealand's recent European Tour trailblazers. And he's asked them both the secret to surviving on the main tour.
I caught up with Cambo in Spain for the Spanish Open last year, and he's loving life at the moment and getting ready for the senior tour in a few years. And spent a lot of time with Brownie as well, and they've been pretty helpful. And I met some friends of Brownie who lived 5 minutes from us in Wimbledon, and they almost became our London parents in a way last year. And yeah, it was cool to get the experience off those guys, and would love to sort of emulate a little bit of their careers in a way as well.
Travelling across Europe playing golf may sound like a dream job, but the risk is if you don't make cuts, your bank account quickly leaks euros, making the pressure to perform all the more cutthroat.
I know the last 2 years doing Europe been around 200 grand New Zealand. I mean, that's accommodation, that's coaching, physio, management, all of that stuff. You don't think about it at the time, the $1,000 hotel bills, or going out to dinner. You go out to dinner every night. That adds up pretty quickly, and you sort of tally it up at the end of the year for the tax man and go, ooh. It's almost like a form of gambling. You spend the money, but backing yourself to be able to make money. Everyone's playing to get on that highest level, and at the highest level, you've got an opportunity to make a lot.
Thankfully, Ryan is looked after by one of golf's top agencies, International Sports Management. ISM's clients have included Rory McIlroy and Graham McDowell. And their current stable features Lee Westwood, Louis Oosthuizen, Danny Willett and Darren Clark.
They gave me the first opportunity in Europe in 2015, and when I qualified for the Open, they sorted me out a practice round with Lee Westwood and Ben Arndt, and you can't sort that out yourself, really. All those guys are really good to play with and encouraging and help out a lot, so hopefully I'll get a few more opportunities this year to have some practice rounds with those guys.
Coach Marcus was on hand at the 2015 Open Championship, where Ryan played a practice round with Parag Harrington and Patrick Reed. It was the first time the golfing world got to witness Fox's power game.
I think Patrick Reed turned around and said that's not right as he hit his 2-iron past the driver. Obviously Ryan was pretty new to the Europe scene at that stage, and not a lot of them had seen him hit it, but a few of the boys have seen him hit it now.
Here's Ryan Fox. We know what his game plan will be.
Ryan's big hitting gained even more fans in Australia last November, where he never backed down from using his driver.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, it is wow, isn't it?
And the 29-year-old is unapologetic about letting it rip, even if it does mean playing from an adjacent fairway from time to time.
I always like playing aggressive, firing at pins, and I guess length is probably the biggest asset of my game, and I like to use that when possible. I've had plenty of tournaments where I've played really conservatively off tees when it's really tight and there's a lot of trouble around, but Royal Sydney was a little bit of a funny golf course. It's really tight but just trees, there's not a lot else, and if you blow it really wide you can actually hit it on someone else's fairway, and if I get that again I'll certainly keep trying to do that.
Having experimented with driver heads in the off-season, Ryan has opted for a 4-gram lighter head, which will give him noticeably more accuracy off the tee this year.
That's a different beast, eh?
Yeah. No brainer, I'm not even putting that head back on. No comparison.
Marcus has crunched the numbers and they make for impressive reading.
I've got a screenshot on my phone which is 130 miles an hour clubhead speed. To give you an idea, I think Dustin Johnson, in the US Open, he was running at about 126, 127. It's 301 metres carry, so there's some speed there.
As Ryan sets off on his 6th season as a pro, he's excited about where his career is heading. Initially, the plan was to play his way to the top in America, but the Aucklander knows the PGA Tour will beckon if he continues to rise through the ranks on the European Tour.
One of the goals was to play on a major tour, and I can say I get to do that now. I did always see the US as the place which suited my game the best. I guess the end goal was probably still the States, but if I finished my career in 15 years in Europe and didn't get a chance to play in the States, I'd still be a very happy man. But I guess it's just the start. I don't want 1 year out in Europe and that's it. I'd love to emulate Canberra. I'd love to spend a significant amount of time playing in Europe and actually have a career out here.